I'm Elliot,
I'm Cal.
and we're going to talk shit about cars.
Welcome to Shitbox.
So, I managed to get my hands on the Lando Norris Monster.
Yeah.
But there was something missing.
Right.
So I decided, in Lando fashion, we're going to bottle it.
Is this in relation to the Canadian Grand Prix by any chance?
The Canadian Grand Prix.
Yeah. Grand Prix.
Yeah. Or the rest of his career.
Yeah, so this week we're going to do a section on the GT40.
Yeah.
We're going to look at the F1 film.
Yeah.
But first of all, we're going to start with some news.
Yeah, get to it.
Proper stuttered then. So first in the news, Mercedes have decided that they're now going to use old tyres, like recycled tyres, to make all their leather for their cars out of. So it'll be a faux leather instead of like actual cow leather, but they're going to use recycled tyres for it.
Do you know what this gives me? Do you remember them wallets you used to get made out of car tyres?
Yes. Wow, that's going back. That's
yeah, it was
I need
still
to
at the
find one of them now.
They were cool then.
They were cool.
But yeah, that's cool. We like saving the environment and that.
Second bit of news. I mean, we like saving the environment as long as it's not an electric car, because they don't actually save the environment.
Hybrids are cool.
Hybrids are cool. BMW have announced that they are not pursuing getting back into F1.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were.
Yeah, so there was a massive... There's been a bit of speculation over the last couple of years on whether BMW will get back into Formula One. And what are you doing?
They're just sabotaging us.
Yeah, was being sabotaged this week.
What's that like? Kermit the Frog did a bloody play?
Right. Quiet on the set, please.
So there's been a bit of speculation over the past couple of years whether BMW will re-enter F1, and they've announced this week that they will not be pursuing an F1 slot.
Did you see the 24 hours of the Nürburgring? So we're at the time of
year.
year.
No, not watched any of that.
There was a bit of a controversial decision at the end because the winner on track got a 100-second penalty.
Hey?
Yeah, there was he flipped an Aston Martin.
Whoa!
From another class.
He will go through if he can. For my money here, Peter, he will go through if he can. As they're heading down towards Verstappen. Oh, and the leader has hit another car, and almost Kennedy has. Right, so no, Estra had no right to be down the inside there. BMW had the bounce that I saw, that I thought was the hit on the BMW, was Rafa Marciello having to take to the curbs and go through. There's not. There's the pressure. That's exerting pressure. Exactly what we were talking about. And the BMW had to take to the curbs on the right-hand side just before Verstappen. There was a moment when I thought that Aston was going to hit the second place car.
Basically, he's gone into the corner and...
Was this a BMW driver?
No, it wasn't. It was a Porsche driver.
Porsche Penske?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Aston Martins basically closed the door of him from a slower class.
Yeah.
And they've made contact to the rear. The Aston Martin's then gone on and flipped the car, and they give him a 100-second penalty.
Jesus.
And they just went no, and carried on racing. They added the time on to the end, and the BMW won.
Winner. We like when BMW wins.
Yeah,
I like it when BMW wins.
It was quite. I watched most of that race. It was quite interesting. So you didn't see any of it?
No.
So you didn't see the Dacia Logan that was racing it?
What?
There was a Dacia Logan going around on the 24 hours of the Nürburgring. And it broke down a couple of times.
Accident during the night last year, but it's risen from the ashes. It's a new chassis and it has a new engine, Johnny. It's got a turbo motor.
Sick.
Sick.
Do you want to move on to your review of the F1 film?
Yeah, and I don't think really. So when Carlos Sainz talked about it, and he said he's seen it and he quite liked it, and he thinks it'll do good at the box office, but for us F1 freaks, it's not going to do well.
Yeah,
I agree.
really.
I watched it. For one, it's long. It's 2.5 hours. I mean, me missus nearly fell asleep. The actual spectacle of it, the car's amazing, the technology amazing, the racing's amazing. There was some bits you could see were used from actual races, and they've just sort of imposed another car over the top of it. I understand why they do that. It's not easy to get a car on the grid racing in F1 that looks.
Yeah.
The technology great, the acting fantastic, the script mid.
Really?
Not a fan. The fundamental rules of the sport were broken. The way the characters were portrayed, and it just, in my opinion, it wasn't a great F1 film.
Oh.
We haven't had many F1 films. I think still to this day, Rush is the greatest F1 film.
I've never seen it.
Have you never?
No.
About
I
James
did, however,
Hunt.
rewatch Tokyo Drift last night. What a film.
But one of my biggest pet peeves about the film, apart from the fundamental rules of being broken in motorsports, the female characters that were wrote for the film, it were just not it.
Oh.
We're in a position now where obviously there's a big push to bring females into the sport.
Yeah.
You know, don't quote me in names, but there is females working behind the scenes in the engineers department and strategy.
Yes, there was a few names that I know. Is Hannah Schmidt,
Yeah,
who's the Red Bull strategist,
and she's a very good strategist.
We had Ruth Bromsko, if I'm saying the name correctly. She was strategist. She was head strategist for Ferrari for a while. She now works for F1 TV.
Yeah.
But then again, there's the work that Susie Wolf's
Exactly,
put in
yeah.
with F1 Academy.
And the whole F1 Academy and bringing the females into the sport.
But she was, she had a lot to do with Williams as well. Well, Claire Williams.
Claire Williams.
She was team principal of Williams Racing for years.
And to bring the females that were wrote for that film just come across as sort of damsels in distress, sort of love. Yeah, it wasn't great. And even the way down to the pit crew, there was a female in the pit crew.
We're at a time where we're trying to get more females into the sport, and yet we've got films like this that are downplaying what they can actually do.
Yeah, and also giving them a big love interest in the sport.
Yeah,
it didn't sit right with me. You know, especially in F1, everyone tries to stay professional. We'd hope with each other. So yeah, it just didn't really give a good.
Yeah,
it didn't translate on screen. However, something interesting.
What?
Really, I want to say there was amazing cameos in the sport. You know, and we had all of the drivers essentially in it. There was a few little scenes. The Total Wolf was in it. He had a couple of speaking lines in it. Obviously, one of the best things that was said in the film is stay away from Nico Hulkenberg. He'll take your front wing. That was on.
That was on
brand.
Point. Oh, yeah, that's on brand.
Yeah. But the trailers for the film, the adverts beforehand, were all on point.
Were they?
Everything was based around
so
F1.
I actually read today that they've greenlit a second F1 film.
Yeah. So that's rumoured. I don't know about that.
No, it's not rumoured. It's like confirmed.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm up for it, and I hope they try, and it's not a swing and a miss.
Because from what I read as well, it was like it won't be a one team dominates sort of film this time. It'll be a lot more.
Well, that wasn't what happened there. To be honest, in that film's reality, I don't know who won the constructors or even most of the races that they performed in.
Oh.
Yeah, they were mostly fighting for a point
Ah.
in the film.
Interesting.
So, one of the interesting adverts that was happening before that is Sebastian Vettel did an intro where he was talking about speed and agility,
Yeah.
and he said, "I'm not talking about F1, no, I'm talking about boat GP." Let me just double check. It's called boat GP. Sail GP.
Oh, the sailing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why have they got Sebastian Vettel to advertise it? It was dope though. Like the advert was dope, and I was interested.
Well, is it Land Rover Jaguar, a partner for the British Sail GP team?
Dope.
Yeah.
Loved it. That was quite cool. A few adverts for Las Vegas because obviously F1 is in a massive debt to buy the rights for Las Vegas. But yeah, apart from that, obviously the script needed more work. I'm a little bit disappointed because Lewis Hamilton was a producer on this film. He did look over the script and was like, okay. And it kind of makes me think, does Lewis Hamilton know what sport he races in?
Yeah, this is true.
His dog was in it though.
Sick.
Roscoe. And even credited at the end.
Sound.
So we're going to talk about the GT40.
We are going to talk about the GT40.
It's a car we've seen. It's almost like a unicorn, but we've seen
two in the wild.
In the wild. Well, they're not really in the wild. They're at car shows and stuff.
We saw one at Shed Fest, and then we used to see one quite regularly at Demon Tweaks.
Yeah.
That's been changed out with something else now, though.
And this is a story that's been told hundreds of times. I mean, it's
loads.
But they are the legendary car that put Ford on the map.
Yeah.
So the GT40 isn't just about speed. It's about pride, revenge, and a kind of determination that rewrites history. So let's rewind to the early 1960s. At the time, Ferrari was the king of endurance racing, especially at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which happened recently.
Yeah, we watched that the other week.
Meanwhile, Henry Ford II was looking for a way to shape up his image. He wanted Ford to be more than the company that built your dad's station wagon. He wanted a slice of the racing glory. In 1963, Ford made a bold move. They tried to buy Ferrari. The deal was nearly done. Ford had lawyers, accountants, everything lined up. But at the last second, Enzo Ferrari pulled out because the contract because the contract would have given Ford control of Ferrari's racing team, and Enzo wasn't about to let this happen. You've got to remember, like, Ford built race cars to sell cars. Enzo Ferrari built cars to go racing.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. So Henry Ford was furious, humiliated, and that's when Henry Ford II gave the order to build me a car that would beat Ferrari at Le Mans. So Ford set up a racing program and partnered with Lola Cars in the UK. Fun fact, Lola Cars are in Formula E at the moment.
Are they?
Yeah, I think they're partnered with Yamaha. Ooh. When I was doing the research for this.
Yamaha?
They're a UK
Yamaha
company.
tuned the engine for the LFA to why it sounds so nice, because they used Yamaha's instruments division, so the ones that build pianos. So they use that to tune tune the harmonics of the exhaust.
Was built by Bose.
No, it was Yamaha.
Was it?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
So Ford set up a blah blah blah. They created a low, sleek prototype, just 40 inches tall, which is where the name GT40
comes from. Yeah.
Yeah. While the early versions looked fast, they were plagued with reliability issues. Gearboxes failed, engines overheated, and most importantly, they didn't win. Ford then turned to a Texas chicken farmer who tuned race cars called Carroll Shelby.
What a guy.
Now, Carroll Shelby isn't just anyone. He'd won Le Mans in 1959. Carroll Shelby had already made waves by stiffing big American V8s into small British cars, most famously being the Shelby Cobra.
This is the AMC Cobra.
Yeah.
What a car.
What a car. And they're worth millions.
We've seen one of them.
I've seen one in
We
the
saw
wild
one
as
at
well.
one of them at Shedfest.
So in a past life, I used to deliver takeaways, and
Yeah.
I pulled up to this takeaway place in somewhere in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I walked up the drive and I could see that there was a Shelby on the
Nice.
drive, and it had a cover on. And I had to say, like, what's that? And they were like, an original Shelby. We just bought it for, I forget the number. It was in the millions.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm in the wrong tax bracket here. So Carroll Shelby helped them build a car that was brutal enough to survive the 24 hours. So Carroll Shelby had just the right guy in mind, which was Ken Miles. Ken was a British racing driver and test driver, fast, fearless, and brutally honest. Now, he wasn't very good in the press.
No, not all.
Historically, he was a bit too honest when it comes to cars. Together, Shelby and Miles tore into the GT40 project and beefed up the chassis, reworked the aerodynamics, and most famously dropped in a 7-litre NASCAR V8, making this the GT40 Mark II. In 1966, Ford returned to Le Mans with 3 factory teams. Ferrari showed up with just 2, expecting the win, but this time Ford crushed them. Not only did they get a 1-2, they got a 1-2-3 across the line.
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
However, because Ken Miles was leading this, he was also, not only did he work on the car, he also raced the car, which is legendary. He was leading the race, and the message come through that they want a photo across the line of all the GT40s crossing the line at the same time.
Yeah.
So he backed off, and they all crossed the line at the same time, with his car edging. Because of the way the rules worked and the timing worked, Bruce McLaren started further back in the field, so meaning he'd travelled a further distance and hence won the race.
Ah.
So,
Madness.
yeah, it was, and he was essentially robbed of the Le Mans win. Tragically, months later, Ken Miles was killed while testing the next evolution of the GT40, the Mark IV. He never got the recognition he deserved in his lifetime, but went on to be one of the biggest reasons of Ford's success. In 1967, the Mark IV won again, this time with Dan Gurney and AJ Foyt. I don't know. Foyt? Foyt?
Never heard of it.
In the all-American car, built and raced by Americans, it was a proud moment. In 1968 and 1969, nice. Ford had pulled out, but a private team of John Wayer's Gulf liveried GT40 kept racing. Now that's the iconic.
That's the iconic livery, that the Gulf livery.
So that's obviously it's something that's still replicated.
The baby
today.
blue with the orange.
They won for years. Then they won both years. The 1969 race, especially, is iconic when Jack. Fuck his second name. Ikes. I probably should have looked up the names beforehand. Yeah. Walk into his car and protest of the dangerous Le Mans start. Now, we've got to remember at that time, they had to run to go and get in the car.
Well, they're still doing the bike championship. They've got the run to the bikes.
Yeah. Bikes are a little bit smaller.
Easier to get on.
Running and climbing into a car. Because
it's rolling start now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think most endurance races are. Because that is dangerous to run across a field, to run across the track, get in, try and put your harness on and set off.
Yeah.
You're either going to make a compromise in your harness and your own safety or others.
Absolutely.
And that's crazy that they still did that. Decades later, Ford brought the legend back. The first in 2005 with a retro-styled V8 supercharged Ford GT. Then again in 2017 with the futuristic carbon-bodied twin-turbo V6.
I like the new one.
I do.
I think that's a nice looking car.
It had a problem though. It is for small passengers.
Yeah, it's not a large human car.
And in 2016, exactly 50 years later, after the first historic win, Ford returned to Le Mans and won in its class.
Winner.
But none of the work would have happened without the spark, the failed Ferrari deal, and the relentlessness of Carroll Shelby and Ken Miles. So he built that. Ken Miles helped build that car, died in the car, didn't get the recognition, and went on to be another legendary Ken. And if you don't know, that was there's a film about this called Le Mans '66. Have you seen that?
In America, it's called Ford versus Ferrari, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Why do they have different names?
I don't know.
I don't know why they do that. But it was.
But it's like how Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is called the Sorcerer's Stone in America.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Have you seen that film?
No.
You haven't seen the
No.
film? It's good. What's his name? Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Is Ken Miles and
Yeah.
is it Matt Damon?
I know Matt Damon plays Carroll Shelby.
Good film.
I've seen clips of it. Like I think one of the best clips out of it is where he calls the is it the '63 notchback Mustang? So it originally came with a tiny engine, didn't it?
And
he called it a lump of lard.
Yeah.
It was fucking class. That.
I think the quote from the film was, "If you lost £600, got rid of the ridiculous 4-speed transmission, I'd still buy it. I made it 18 grand cheaper,
I'd still buy a Chevy Chevelle,
something like that." Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good film. Carroll Shelby was a bit of a legend. He was a pilot, wasn't it? I think they were both pilots.
Yes. Both World War II pilots. That's how they met each other.
Yeah, and also, funny enough, Ford was also making planes for the World War.
Yeah.
Another quote from that film is, "This isn't the first time Ford's been to war in Europe and won."
Yeah.
Which is dope, like that. Good film. Recommend you go and watch it. I think it's on Netflix. Could be wrong. One of your streaming platforms.
If it's not on Netflix, it'll definitely be on Amazon.
Yeah, it's a good film. I recommend you watch it tonight. You've got some films to catch up on.
Shitbox of the week.
Okay.
What have you got?
So
this
we
week
set out to find Facebook Marketplace supercars. Now I think both of us, it's up for interpretation.
I still don't know what you've got. You've figured out what I've got.
I'd say mine's in the supercar class, but
I'm
these
not sure mine is.
I had to Google whether this was a supercar. I'd say so. It's a flagship car.
It's a flagship car. As you know what I've got, do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
So I have found a 2016 Nissan GTR.
I fucking knew straight away because I looked at them and I thought that's too obvious because they are the cheaper on the supercar ends.
But it's nice. It's not a Nismo edition or anything. It's just like a Bogo.
Okay,
Nissan.
so mine's got more cylinders.
But it's had AC speed tech tuning done to it.
And how much is it?
£49,990.
And I am the winner. So the car I brought to the table is a 2009 Audi R8.
Yeah.
It's the V10. It's in Daytona grey, obviously automatic.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's Quattro. It doesn't state it. Yeah.
Let's go with it not being Quattro then.
It's someone's daily at the moment.
Fuck off. Someone's daily in an R8.
Daily use, so mileage will go up. It has done 96,000 miles. It's in Daytona grey, and it's a £28,000 supercar.
Oh, this has been crashed before. I just realised. I just found. Yeah, this has been crashed before.
Mine's never been crashed.
Right. Top trumps.
Okay.
First one. What year was yours?
2009.
2015. So I win that one.
Yeah.
Mileage.
96,000 miles.
36. So I win that one.
Yeah.
Price?
£28,000.
Fuck off.
£28,000.
So mine's £49,000. So you win that one.
Yeah.
Mine's 4-wheel drive. We're going with yours being 2-wheel drive because it doesn't stipulate.
I think they only did the V10s in all-wheel drive. Let me just have a look at the facts and figures of the car, because I don't know much about the V10 models.
If it doesn't state quattro, then it's probably not.
Rear-wheel drive.
Yeah. So.
Oh no. Also offers a rear-wheel drive and a all-wheel drive quattro.
Yeah. So that's not a quattro, is it?
No.
Okay. How many cylinders?
10.
So you win that one. So we're pretty even on par, really.
So we'll talk about horsepower.
Yeah, go for it.
I think mine's around 570. I'm going to say it's because it's an earlier one, even though I haven't got the actual figures in front of me.
You ready?
Oh, mine's been crashed.
You ready?
Go on.
702 brake horsepower.
It's been modded.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, so you win.
4.25, 0 to 60.
The car has been serviced, including gearbox, oil, and common oil pump leak seals.
738 newton meters of torque.
Yeah, it's someone's daily, and it has been crashed. The car damage repaired by myself at our body shop.
So we're pretty much on par with the cars, but
I've got another top trump.
Go
We're
on.
gonna see what its MOT history's been like.
I can't see that on mine because they've blocked out.
Oh.
And let's not go into people's MOT histories.
Because I looked at the MOT history on this, and it has a pretty clean MOT history.
Yeah, I've got nothing to do with MOTs on here.
So if we were gonna buy these cars
Yeah,
today, the 2 crash supercars, and they are very low-end spec supercars in terms of
Yeah.
and they're on Facebook Marketplace, so they're probably run and drive.
maybe. Well, this one's had loads of work done it by AC Speed Tech.
I don't know who that is.
Neither do I.
This has had a nothing.
Bell housing done at Litchfield. Don't know what that means. But part X's are welcome.
So I think in terms of price to performance, I think I'm winning.
Yeah,
In terms of overall,
performance.
you're winning.
I'm winning.
What colour's yours in? Are they both grey?
I lost it. Where did it go?
It's been sold.
No, I clicked off it. Anyway, we know where we stand on them, but we'd like to know where you stand on them. So let us know
Who's the
comments.
winner?
Yeah,
Obviously
let us know in
the
comments below
Audi.
who you think's won.
I think the Audi's a better sounding one as well, the V10.
Lies.
Lies. So that was another episode of Shitbox
That was
Pod.
episode 6.
Episode 6.
Episode 6.
We got some ideas for the future, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm going to do a video next week on my car.
Uh,
When your car's back on the road, we'll do a video on your car.
yeah. It's not off the road, it's just needs a
I'm going to do a
battery
bit of
and
a...
few
Because I've been
bits.
driving my car for about 2 months now. I'm going to do a bit of a look around it. You know, bit of a review of it.
Yeah.
So...
I need to get my car in a... It's drivable, but it's like there's an exhaust rattle, the batteries, there's something draining the battery all the time.
Yeah,
I think I know what it was.
that might be a bad ground, that.
I think it's something to do with the door switch. I don't think the door switch is working because the interior light stays on. So I turn it off, but it's still leaking power.
Yeah.
So I was something I need to work out with that. We'll get that on the road soon.
Yeah.
It needs paint as well, but that can come in the future. So new exhaust.
But when you come back from your Ollie Bobs,
I mean, Holly Bobs.
we'll do a few videos working on it as well.
Yeah, we've got a few bits to do.
Yeah.
I essentially want to rebuild the whole car at this point. Now the chassis is rust free. It's pretty good. I want to underseal it, and I've got loads of ideas for it. But I'm also trying to convince you to buy a race car. A car purpose built for the track racing. which is something that
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the future when it becomes more of a
reality.
reality.
Maybe go racing.
So it's a pod.
It's a pod.